Hello and nice to see you here. It's Thursday the 25th of June on day 15 of World Cup 2026. I'm Lee Anthony Davis and it's time for my World Cup 2026 YouTube channel. Right, coming up we've got World Cup final score, sports report, group tables, look at tomorrow's matches, the contenders section, the quiz question section, the top 12 third place teams, goal of the day, match of the day, and then we round off with news and weather. So let's start off this show with the World Cup final score, starting with Group E. Curacao 0, Ivory Coast 2, Ecuador 2, Germany 1. Group F, Japan 1, Sweden 1, Tunisia 1, Holland 3. And finally in Group D, Paraguay 0, Australia 0, Turkey 3, United States 2. Right, it's time for Sports Report, and we start off with the first game, which was Curacao versus Ivory Coast, as we bid farewell to the rank outsiders of the tournament as they play their final match against Ivory Coast. But there was not to be a fairy tale ending. Ivory Coast just needed a point to secure a place in the knockout stage, and it only took 7 minutes for the Ivory Coast to find the net. Nicolas Pepe tapped the ball in after a mix-up in defence to give Ivory Coast a 1-0 lead at half-time, and it wasn't until the 64th minute when Pepe struck again with a powerful shot in the corner to give Ivory Coast the 3 points and a place in the knockout stage, and will play either France or Norway at the Arlington Stadium on Tuesday. Right, moving on to the next report, and this one probably will make a lot of people happy, including me. This one is also in Group E, between High Flyers Germany and Ecuador, who are wanting to create a miracle. Not only do they need 3 points, but the hope of results going their way as well. Right, well, especially if they're in the top 8, but I'll explain that later on as we go along. So getting on with the report, Germany has expected that to go off to a flyer in the first 2 minutes when Florian Wirtz threaded a clever ball through to Leroy Sané, who hit it first time past the Ecuadorian goalkeeper to make it 1-0 to Germany. Then 7 minutes later, Sunderland's Nilson Angelo sensationally scored past German goalkeeper Neuer to make it all square at 1-1. The Germans were clearly rattled, but the Germans started to push forward, and a through ball from Mencher to Havertz saw Havertz go down, and the referee gave a penalty to Germany. And after consultation, the referee changed his decision, and Ecuador were let off the hook. Then more chances came and went, and with Jamal and Havertz missing opportunities. With 13 minutes to go, Ecuador started to push forward, knowing a goal could keep them in the World Cup. And the ball kicked high into the German goal area, and it was Gonzalo Plato flicked the ball from his head beyond the German goalkeeper Neuer into the net to give Ecuador a 2-1 lead with 13 minutes to go. But it was Ecuador who saved themselves from the exit door and to win the match 2-1, and Ecuador will qualify as one of the highest third place teams. Right, moving on to Japan and Sweden. This match took part in Group F, and already Japan has qualified. Sweden needed a point which will secure themselves a top 8 spot and qualification, but it was Japan who went in front with 10 minutes into the second half through a Diazan Maeda but Sweden saved themselves with a goal from Anthony Elanga from a superb shot from outside the area, and eventually the 1-1 draw was a fair result, favouring both teams, Japan finishing second in the group and Sweden as the best placed team in the third place qualification. But Japan's next hurdle will be slightly difficult as they will face Brazil in the last 32. Right, moving on to the next game in Group F, which saw Holland signing off with another win against bottom group team Tunisia, running out eventually 3-1 winners, with the goals coming from an own goal in the third minute from Tunisian captain Elez Skiri, turning the ball into his own net. Then Holland's consistent goalscorer, Sunderland's Brian Broby, scored the second in the 7th minute. Tunisia did pull one back through Hazam Nastore in the 54th minute, but it was to no prevail as Jean-Paul Van Heck made it 3-1. And the final score, Holland could be the dark horses to go all the way with their first big challenge against 2022 World Cup semi-finalists Morocco on Tuesday at the Monterrey Stadium. Right, congratulations to Holland, who my tips for the World Cup, the best of the European I've selected. I know France is the obvious choice, but I still think Holland could be the dark horses. Right, moving on to Paraguay and Australia. Now, sadly, this match lacked a lot. Both teams were too frightened to open up the match. So basically, what we got was a lackluster match, unwatchable, you could say. The match was a very dull affair. Both were unwilling to open the game up. Few chances came and went, and in the end, both teams were happy with a point, but I bet the fans weren't. Australia now finished second in the group, and Paraguay, one of the strong teams of the third place qualification, will now take their place in the last 32 as well. Right, also, we now go to another match in Group D between Turkey and the USA. Now, this was an exciting match that had 5 goals for entertainment point of view, and it was Austin Trusty who opened the scoring for the Americans as early as the 3rd minute. And then Turkey struck back in the 10th minute through Arda Güler, and then on the half hour, Yilmaz put Turkey in front to lead 2-1 at half time. In the second half, the United States came back to equalise through Sebastian it's the way I've written it, Bahalter in the 49th minute. It was end-to-end stuff, and finally a dramatic winner in injury time from Turkey's Kaan Ayhan, which gave Turkey their first win in the World Cup since 2002. But it is the USA who will be facing Bosnia in the last 32 at the Santa Clara Stadium on Thursday. Right, now that's the end of the reports. My God, there was a few of them there. So anyway, let's move on to the group tables. We start with Group D. As it's confirmed, America topped the group with Australia finishing second, and as we discovered, Paraguay are one of the top 8 teams that have finished strongly with the points and goal difference, and will now play in the actual knockout stage in the last 32. So the final reading of Group D is America topped the group with 6 points, with Australia second, along with Paraguay, but it's Australia who have a better goal difference, because Paraguay have let 2 more goals in, so they finished on -2 goals, where Australia ended up being level par, as they say. Sadly, Turkey are the ones eliminated from the World Cup in that group. Right, moving on. We look at Group E now, and that's been completed, and we all knew Germany would win the group, but we were surprised when they lost 2-1 to Ecuador. So they finish on 6 points with a goal difference of +6. Ivory Coast finished second. They won 2 games, and they finished off with a +2 goal difference with 6 points with Germany, but Germany was better off by 4 goals. Ecuador managed to hit that 3rd spot with that win against Germany, and they finished off with 4 points, and enough to qualify them, as I did my arithmetic, for the top 8 to be added into the 24 that have already qualified by finishing 1st and 2nd. And sadly, Curacao, as we always expected it was going to happen, would finish bottom of the group, but it would have been nice for them to score some goals and basically something for the neutral to enjoy. But anyway, Curacao will have won many friends all over the world, and I'm sure they'll be back. Anyway, so Curacao eliminated from the World Cup. And now we go to the final look at the tables at Group F, where Holland finished the group as champions with 7 points. Japan finished second on 5 points, and Sweden, who go into the top 12 third place teams, they finished 3rd. And sadly, Tunisia didn't really get going this World Cup, and they finished rock bottom with the worst record of -10 goals. What a shame. So anyway, let's have a quick look at tomorrow's matches. In Group G, in Seattle Stadium, Egypt take on Iran. At Vancouver Stadium, New Zealand play Belgium. On Group H, Houston Stadium, Cape Verde take on Saudi Arabia. And then at Guadalajara Stadium, that's a mouthful, take on Uruguay take on Spain. And finally, in Group I, at Boston Stadium, Norway face France. And then later on, Toronto Stadium, we've got Senegal against Iraq. Right, moving on to the contenders section, and this is the top 12 teams so far, as it stands, that will probably qualify. The top 8 qualify, the other 4 are eliminated. So we start off with the top team is Sweden, second is Ecuador now. They've gone from the relegation part of it to second in that table. Bosnia are 3rd, Paraguay 4th, Senegal 5th, Iran 6th, Croatia 7th, and looking over their shoulder now is South Korea in 8th place. Algeria and Uruguay have yet to play, so basically Algeria and Uruguay have got a chance of getting out of their group. Sadly for Scotland, it's over. They dropped into the relegation zone and they are 10th. But it could get a lot worse if the other teams win, where Scotland could be finished near the bottom, really near the bottom. It started off so promisingly with Haiti with a 1-0 win, but then it all went wrong with Morocco and then the inevitable with Brazil. So sadly, Scotland are eliminated from the tournament. Right, anyway, on that sad note, let's have a look at the top 6 quickest goals scored. And it's still got the honour to Mateus Galaza, 1 minute 4 seconds at Paraguay, who plays for Paraguay. Second is Ismail Sabari, 1 minute 10 seconds for Morocco. But we do have some new movers join this top 6. Leroy Sané, 2nd minute goal for Germany. And then there's Elias, I can't pronounce his name. Yes, I'll try to. Elise Skiri. That's it, Skiri. I do apologise. He scored a third minute goal with in 30 seconds. So it's 3 minutes 30 seconds and he plays for Tunisia. And the 5th place player is Austin Trusty with 3 minutes 40 seconds for America. And finally, in 6th place is Diachi Kamada in 4 minutes for Japan. Right, the longest time for a goal to be scored, I don't really want to say this again because I've said it so many times, but I'm going to have to. Marko Arnautovic, 102nd minute penalty for Austria against Jordan. In my opinion, that will be the norm every time I wanted to when I read this out, but I don't think I'll bother because I don't think it's going to get beat. But if it's any, so I might leave that one out and I'll only repeat it once more at the end of the World Cup. So that might be the only time to give it any credibility to even say it. Right, now we move into the top six teams who scored the most in their groups, and we all know this, so I'm just going to go it through quickly. Germany 7-1, Canada came next with 6-0, then Portugal with 5-0, then Holland with 5-1, Sweden with 5-1, and Japan on 4-0. Right, moving on to the next section, which is the top six teams to concede most goals. And we have new leaders at the top. We've got Tunisia with 12 goals, and then Curacao with 11 goals, and then Qatar with 10 goals. Propping up the rest is Haiti with 8 goals, and Iraq and Uzbekistan sharing 5th place with both with 7 goals. Right, moving on to the top 6 teams who have scored the most goals. That honour now is, well, it was with Germany, but Holland have joined them at the top, with both having scored 10 goals. Then Canada still in 2nd place, but they on 8 goals. Sweden lead a group from Switzerland and Brazil with all scoring 7 goals. Right, now for the top 6 Golden Boot contenders. Lionel Messi still leads the way with 5 goals, along with Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland and Vinicius Jr. on 4 goals. Then Ismail Sabari on 3 goals, with Brian Broby on 3 goals as well. Right, moving on to the final section now, and it's time for the quiz question section. And I wanted to know which country knocked out England when they defended their title in the World Cup 1970. The answer was West Germany in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. They beat England 4-2. And the most disappointing about this was the decision to take off Bobby Charlton, who was marking out Franz Beckenbauer out the game. And up until that point, Germany were making no progress. But Bobby Charlton was replaced by Alan Mullery, and sadly, Beckenbauer was given the space, and the rest is history. We lost 4-2 as world champions, by the way. Anyway, that's history. So anyway, never mind. Here's another. This one's again connected with England. What was the longest period England failed to qualify for the World Cup? Was it A, 4 years, B, 8 years, or C, 12 years? I'll give you the answer to that tomorrow. Right, now, goal of the day for my choice is Sebastian Barreta for second goal for the United States against Turkey. A nice clean hit from outside the box. Right, match of the day, same match, USA versus Turkey, end-to-end football with a dramatic winner. Right, we're coming to the final stages where we move on to the news, and thunderstorms delay 100 flights at Heathrow and Gatwick. Right, moving on to other news abroad, and the rescue continues as they find many survivors underneath the rubble caused by the Venezuelan earthquake, as many more are still missing. Let's hope, fingers crossed, that they find them. And finally, weather. Tonight it will begin to be cloudy with some spots in the air of rain, and will remain humid towards the course of the night. Right, that's it from me. I'll be back again very shortly with another World Cup 26 YouTube channel. Don't forget, I'm also starting something new on the community board with Wimbledon 2026. It's going to be called the Wimbledon Championships 2026 board, posting board, whatever board, but it'll be on there, and there'll be results, final analysis of matches, who's playing who, the seeds. It'll all be going on there. And it's been a hot day, as you can see. I'm starting to close my eyes because I'm tired and I'm very hot and very thirsty. But anyway, never mind all that rubbish. Let's just say thank you for watching. Appreciate that. It's been a long day. It takes a lot of time putting all this together, and sometimes I can make bloody big howler mistakes. But please forgive me for that. You know, you can only get better from your last performance. So anyway, that's it from me. Look after yourselves. I'll see you soon, and have a nice night. Bye for now.